I mean, there'll definitely be connections. We were wondering, like, in the trailer, will we see anything?
You might see
like
Marie.
JV?
I think you'll see Marie. I think Marie will be, if anything, in the beginning.
I think my thing, the only thing that would tie in would maybe Victoria Newman.
But she's already in
the virus. Bringing up
Okay.
the virus, I think. I think that's going to be a big plot point for this season.
Welcome back to the break room, everybody. Today we are getting hyped for all the upcoming CCXP trailers. Some have already come out, and we are expecting some big ones. We're also going to be answering our live chat questions here on the break room. But before we do that, we wanted to thank Opera for sponsoring today's episode of the break room. Evan, tell us a little bit about Opera.
Hey, thanks guys. Real quick, we want to thank Opera for sponsoring today's episode of The Break Room. Opera is our new favorite desktop browser, mainly because it comes loaded with features we always wanted, and we love that about it. It's got a free VPN and ad blocker built right into the browser, so you don't have to deal with a ton of extensions to get things going the way you want. Opera also has tab islands, so you can arrange your tabs in separate groups, which is huge for those of us who always have 70 tabs open. Like me, that's me. Opera also comes with Opera's Aria AI assistant right there in the sidebar. Aria is great for answering questions or even translating any page into English. To support the break room and get started with Opera today, just click the link in the description below. Thanks again to Opera for sponsoring this video. All right, back to you guys.
Oh, did you see him do the
Yeah, a little toss to me. Thank you, Evan. And thank you, Opera, for sponsoring today's episode. Of course, on the panel with me today, I'm very pleased to welcome Brandon Barrick.
That's
and
right.
And Jay Washington.
Yes, we are here, yes.
We're excited.
Yeah, we're very excited
excited.
on this. We're recording on a Friday. We're excited. It's a TGIF. Let's get into it. CCXP is the Brazilian Comic-Con equivalent down in Sao Paulo, lovely Sao Paulo, where it's summer in the Southern Hemisphere.
Oh,
Right?
You know, Brazil, it crosses both the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn.
Oh, because it's a long country.
It's a long country.
It's a long
big
one.
country.
Shout
Got a
out.
lot of thick women there. God bless Carnival. I don't know what else to say about Brazil.
I've never been, but I've heard nothing but lovely things. Shout out if you're a Brazilian and/or have been to Brazil in the chat. So there's a lot of stuff going on at CCXP. There's no Disney stuff there, so no Marvel or Star Wars, but Paramount's down there, Universal's down there, Amazon Prime's down there, HBO's down there, and we are expecting a lot of stuff. We've already gotten the Furioso trailer came out yesterday, released down there. Why don't we jump right into that? I know yourself and Koi yesterday chatted a little bit about the
We
Furiosa
did, and then
trailer.
Evan deleted that footage out of jealousy, and then he reshot it with himself and Koi.
Wow, Evan is
Damn.
Evan is doing some Brandon erasure.
Yeah, it's right. I'm being wiped out of existence. Please watch me.
Why don't you just do your half of your acting?
Oh,
for us
okay.
Right now?
Yeah, hot trailer. This is a prequel, obviously,
Yes.
to Mad Max Fury Road. And I think we were trying to figure out where it fits into the timeline of all the Mad Max movies.
It said 45 years after the collapse.
Right, and I don't know when the Mad Max, when Road Warrior started. I don't know.
It was also after the collapse, right?
Right.
So how old would Furiosa become Matt? I think you got to go how old she would be in Fury Road.
I believe
She's younger than Mad Max in Fury Road, I assume. Mad Max is in his 50s.
Yeah, I think the Mad Max in Fury Road is like a lot older than Tom Hardy is, and I think Eric in the breakdown speculated that Miller's just kind of like throwing out the timeline.
Yeah,
He's
it
not
doesn't
worried too
matter.
much about anything. It's just like, this is taking place before that and after that.
Well, there's going to be a bunch of videos.
It's a
like this.
Fantasyland. Yeah. I'm very hyped by it. I loved Fury Road. I think it was a big surprise for a lot of people, especially who, I grew up watching the Mad Max movies on like VHS or something, but like I'd never seen one in a movie theater. And like it was, do we need this movie? And then, yes, we need this movie.
Also, the rare sequel, has it been 10 years? When did Fury Road come
we
out?
were saying it was like 9 years ago or something like that.
Like, they took their time.
Yeah.
When Fast and Furious movies come out every 18 months, or, Tom Cruise can only wait 3 years in between a Mission Impossible movie, it's nice to, have let that one sit for a little bit.
Yeah, we've been hearing about that for a while, because he had been talking, everybody was like, where's this sequel? We found out it's a prequel. But also, let's be real, you got to take 2.5 years out. Got to take the pandemic out.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think anytime between anything, you take the pandemic out, so that doesn't count. So you still get a good 7 years. We've waited for a sequel on this.
Yeah.
If you can't take that part out. But like you said, every 18 months, it's some new cars and family. Like that's every 18 months. So I think I think, look, they took time. The story should be good with as much time as he took on this movie. If this story is terrible, look, the trailer can be one thing.
Yeah.
But if this story is terrible with as much time, it's just don't make nothing else.
Yeah, I think it'll be. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
Loved Fury Road. It looks cool. Looks great. People were kind of complaining about the CGI. I don't know. I think it looks cool.
He says people. He means me.
Not you. No, other people. Like a lot of comments, and I think a lot of people confuse. Fury Road. They're like, oh, it was all practical. They were driving around. Yes, there's a lot of practical driving, but there was a ton of CGI put on top of that to like clean it up, add effects.
But I think the CGI, and again, Anya Taylor-Joy doesn't look real to me.
Yeah, she doesn't look like a real person.
She doesn't look like a real. That's my biggest.
She's very
gripe.
unique looking.
Yeah, it's like remember those AI photos everybody was making on Facebook.
She looks like an AI.
She
photo.
looks like an AI photo.
She was the model for
everything.
AI to learn.
She's gigantic eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's also it's funny. Great cast. We should speak to real quick. Anya Taylor-Joy is playing the role that Charlize Theron played in Fury Road. Chris Hemsworth, Thor himself, is in this. Unrecognizable.
With that nose
and the beard with the little
He
mustache.
looks. You know what he reminded me? We were just talking about Hugh Jackman before we started rolling. Like he looks like Hugh Jackman in that Peter Pan Captain Hook movie, kind of, because he had the crazy mustache and a big fake nose. But like he's gonna be maybe like a.
He seems like the main antagonist.
Yeah.
We see Immortal Joe, who's like the main antagonist in Fury Road. But what I think is most interesting about this movie, Fury Road was like Furiosa breaking off from Immortal Joe. He trusted her in that movie.
Right.
She'd been a warrior for him for a long time, and she had concocted this plan to steal these girls away and like save them. This movie is seemingly going to put her in league with Immortal Joe.
It's like the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah. So it's like, is she a good person in this movie? I don't
technically
know.
no. We know that's how the story.
Right, but Immortal Joe might have started off more altruistic, right?
Well, hey,
Yeah.
it's
and
like
gotten evil over time.
Fidel Castro was
Here we go.
overthrowing.
Here we go. Castro apologist.
Batista was not a good guy. Okay, Fidel Castro overthrew him, but Fidel Castro wasn't a good guy. So, like, that's the kind of story we're
Jay,
telling
would you like to
here,
weigh in on this
what I mean?
matter?
Don't come after me. And also, my knowledge of Latin American history is thin. Okay, but I know enough.
We just lost a lot of viewers in Miami, Florida. We lost them.
Yeah, we just lost 20. Just it all dropped.
Whoa!
Wait, there's that many Batista apologists out there?
I mean, you mentioned the word Castro. That's what happened.
How do you feel about Zapata? How do we feel about him?
Mara?
Look,
Sabaro?
So I think we're
Sabaro.
I know that.
delicious.
Look, you got to get those strombolis. Got to get a good
I
stromboli.
haven't had a Sabaro in 20 years.
That's like
Where do you even find
gotta
a
go to a
Sabaro?
mall or
No, you say
food
that, but
court?
malls don't have
Yes, they do.
Sabaros anymore.
They're
Which
food
mall?
court.
Which mall?
I can't say it's gonna dox me.
Oh, okay.
But when I go to the movies sometimes, and I'm like, oh man, I don't like eating in movie theater. It's just like a me thing. I know people do. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, no, it's not. People at the AMC's getting like chicken fingers or like a burger. I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's
That's
convection
wild.
of it,
That's
like,
wild.
I'm
That's
good.
some wild stuff.
Sometimes I have to park in the mall
Okay.
and then walk over to the movie theater. It's a little bit of a walk. And I'm like, oh, how much time do I have? I'm like, I have just enough time that if there is no line at Sbarro, I can get one single
I take it
slice
back.
and eat it so quickly, and
I
that's
also-
exactly what I need.
I love the confidence of Evan to be like, if I even mention the mall where there's a Sbarro,
They'll be swarmed. They'll be swarmed.
someone will camp out there
Yeah.
and wait for my next appearance.
I feel like I haven't seen a Sabaro in the wild in a long time.
Somebody out here like, yo, was there a little short guy?
He's got tiny feet.
Got tiny feet. Tell me
Wow.
he needed.
Also,
he got-
I love this
slice
narrative
bowl.
that Evan's short.
Short
I feel like
guy,
Evan is
yeah.
very much an
Ugh.
average
He's
height
an average
human
height
being,
dude.
but
He's got that. He's got a standing desk, and it's at its peak. Okay, folks.
This is very true.
It's huge. I walk up to it and it's here. And I'm like, Evan, how do you work at this thing? Oh, Evan, you're so tall.
I got my platforms on.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Evan beats us. I keep telling y'all. He brings out cowbells.
Damn.
He's like 6'8".
He's got a piece of garden hose that's like.
He just.
okay, so other things that we are anticipating in CCXP. So we got Furiosa. We are getting tomorrow.
Tomorrow there'll be
Tomorrow morning, I think, our time. We are getting a Boys Season 4 trailer.
Heck yeah.
Feels like Gen V just ended.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
We're
did.
rolling right into the Boys.
We don't know the release date. Probably
You'll get the answer.
Yeah, we were speculating spring. I mean, the Boys have been in a summer show for a while, but I think they want to come out like early, maybe a little bit
Well,
earlier.
everybody's got to fill slots because again, the strike really postponed a lot. So everybody has to fill in time. Like, yes, they buy content, all these streamers and whatnot. But again, when you just had it, Gen V just happened.
Right.
And for all intents and purposes, it was a success.
Yeah.
So you want to keep this going. You want to keep that momentum because you got that, and then you get to break. Because what I think they're going to do is we use this as the buffer till we bring back Invincible. So
And that the second half of that season is
They
early
said
next year?
they said early 2024. So
and that can be any part.
yeah,
of
that could be any time before June 1st.
Yeah, and I think with Gen V being renewed, they're going to do more Gen V. There's this word of a the Boys Mexico spinoff with Gabriel Garcia Bernal and
Diego Luna thing.
Diego Luna, right? Team up.
No one wanted to guess
Right.
wrong.
But
Looked at each other like,
Well, like,
right.
Andor and Werewolf by Night. Those two.
Yes.
But Amazon's almost getting in, and they turned the boys around pretty fast.
Well,
too.
they shot because The Boys season 3 was really interrupted by COVID.
Yes.
Like they were about to go into production. So when they shot season 3, I believe as soon as it ended, they shot season 4.
They went right
So
before.
the gap between 2 and 3 was longer than they originally intended,
Right, yes.
but now they're trying to shorten these gaps.
And the post effects on that show are extensive. They do a lot of CGI on that show.
Well, yeah, especially for certain soups.
yeah.
Starlight,
Yeah.
and so much.
Well,
of what
Starlight is
Homelander
really
does.
practical when you think about it, because now they got her floating and flying. And then there's a scene with a Homelander flying. Did you ever see that one behind the scenes?
Yeah, they hoisted him up on a crane.
He was pissed off. He was like, "It's too hard."
That was in their blooper reel
Yeah.
that just came out. But you see, Prime is aiming for this rotation of like, it's never more than a couple months before something in that universe is coming out. Even their animated episodes that they occasionally drop too, right?
Yeah, the Diabolicals came out pretty soon. I don't think they're doing any more of the Diabolicals. I don't know.
I think we basically are saying this for those watching. They film a lot of these shows when they know they've got multiple seasons. We'll say, oh, they're in production for season 3, but in all actuality, they're in production for seasons 3 and 4.
Yeah,
because they know what they already.
They can save a lot of money.
You save a lot of money if you go ahead and just say, listen, look, we need y'all to clear your schedules. Because we're going to do more than just this. We're going to go knock these 2 seasons out. This way, once we knock these 2 seasons out, you really don't have to come back from reshoots and everything. Yeah. You can go do other projects, and we just need you for when it's time to promote.
Yeah,
so
do some ADR, do some pickup.
Yeah, just do some ADR, some pickup, that's it. But instead of sitting there saying, oh, there's this major gap, things are being done on top of things. Like I always say with Harley Quinn, the first 2 seasons were greenlit, and they just cut it in half.
Yeah.
So when the first season dropped, you're like, okay, cool. Then you get the second season, and then you go into third and fourth, and that's because the animation itself takes so long.
Yes. Well, we have a little a friend working on X-Men '97. The first season of that hasn't come out yet. They're already about to start the writers' room for season 3.
See?
They've already written an entire second season because just the production takes so long. Throw in the chat at Breakroom NR. Evan's in the chat there. What are your predictions for The Boys season 4? Do you think there will be some connections to Gen V now that we've been introduced to that world?
I mean, there'll definitely be connections. We were wondering, like, in the trailer, will we see anything?
You might see
like
Marie.
Gen V?
I think you'll see Marie. I think Marie will be, if anything, in the beginning.
I think my thing, the only thing that would tie in would maybe Victoria Newman.
But she's already in
the virus, bringing up the virus. I think that's going to be a big plot point for this season that they're taking from Gen V. And by the end of the season, we'll see either Marie or Kate or Sam.
I will say this: I think this trailer is going to be by far one of the most violent trailers we've ever seen.
They kind of tease that in a tweet. They're like, "Oh, it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows." Just kidding. It's going to be gnarly and nasty or whatever.
Yeah, I think this trailer is going to come. Like, we know what The Boys is. We know what Gen V was. The first episodes for each show come out the gate. Holy shit, right? I think this trailer is going to be some of the. We already just were doing that with the Echoes trailer. Remember?
Right.
Yeah.
So we were always like hyper violent. I think this trailer is going to set the bar for whatever hyper violent we thought it was.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and we were talking about, a 4th season of a show. It's like, it's been around a while now. We've seen the dynamic of Butcher versus Homelander and Huey and Starlight. Like, we've seen these stories have played out. They need to mix it up a little bit, maybe including some of these Gen V storylines and characters a little bit. That adds something new. Will we see, like, a new antagonist, a new big threat, something like that?
I think this season they either got to kill Homelander, they got to kill Butcher. One of
Butcher
them,
gotta die
I think
anyway.
one of them have to die. You have Soldier Boy. I don't know. Like, my fear with the show has always been, like, if they get rid of Homelander, what do they do with the show? But now that you have Gen V and now you're doing, like, this Mexico spinoff, I think it's a good way to build up new hyper villains.
Vought's not going anywhere, right? And so like Homelander can leave and
Homelander's
somebody else
good
will.
big bad.
Yeah, because remember, the whole point of Vought is superheroes are commodities, right? Soups are commodities. Not even superheroes. Soups are commodities. So Homelander just happens to be the one psychopath that they even want to figure out how do we neutralize him, right? So they try to figure this out. You get rid of Homelander, you still got a whole bunch more. You got people we probably haven't heard of that people Vought, like, look, they buried Stormfront for a while.
Right.
Remember, she was Liberty.
Soldier Boy was locked up.
Soldier Boy is out here on ice. So Vought, there's always, you just said it. There's always somebody, because they've shown us. You think this person's bad, here comes the worst, and here comes worse than that. Yeah. It's just, Homelander is an outspoken sociopath.
Right. And not
sociopath, psychopath.
Not even like the character, but like Anthony Starr is so good as Homelander.
Yes.
And it's like finding someone to replace that. Not just a well-written character, but a great actor.
Charisma and the presence.
And that's going to be tough for them.
The other premium genre show that it has a panel tomorrow, and we're anticipating getting a trailer, is House of the Dragon Season 2 for Max. Seems like, what was that? The summer of 2021 when we got the last?
No, it was in 2022.
It was 2022.
Which is last year. Oh, okay.
It was last year.
Yeah,
Sorry. Last
I think
fall?
it was before the holidays because
It
we
was-
had
It
Last
was right
of Us.
before Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was summer into fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And this is set to come out summer of 2024 next year. So we don't have exact dates yet, but we're anticipating a trailer there. We'll see some people with blonde, long hair.
We'll see some light locks there.
We
These
will
are the
see dragons, I
posters
bet. Yeah.
they put out, of course.
We'll see how many people Rhaenyra humps before she starts having all these babies.
Yeah.
She got them.
Well, Rhaenyra's had some kids. You know, she had one that she named Viserys.
Yes.
She's had some children with Daemon at this point.
It's gonna be a lot of babies.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a lot of sex in this show because it's Game of Thrones.
And we've already lost one offspring.
Right.
At the end of season 1.
Right.
And I don't think things are looking good for a couple more of them.
This is, of course, based on Fire and Blood. It's about the Targaryen Civil War, the Dance of the Dragon specifically. The book, this part of the book is like so short. There's so much of the book. The book is written in a way that it's like from 3 different perspectives.
So that's probably
and you don't really know. You don't know what the truth is. This show is being like, this is what happens, right? It's kind of answering a lot of those questions. There's gonna, we didn't know how far the first season would go. It ended with Alicent kind of subverting the will of Viserys, installing her child as the new king. Rhaenyra was supposed to be the new queen. Kind of replaced her. She's down in Dragonstone. Alicent and the Greens have taken over King's Landing. So it's like, where do they go from here? And how far are they going to go? The dance is only going to get bloodier and deadlier.
We got a little bit of dragon on dragon action in season 1.
Sir,
in theory,
in
theory, we should be getting a lot of that.
Yeah.
If not in this,
a real May-December battle, too. A very old dragon and a very young dragon.
A young dragon meets an older dragon.
Do we know how many seasons are they scheduled to go on House of the
Dragon?
Dragon?
We don't know.
Okay.
And there's still...
Because it is a finite story. The story ends, right?
Yes.
It's not open-ended like Game of Thrones is still.
Right, eventually...
Because there's another prequel coming.
Yes.
There's another prequel coming.
Supposedly, there's one that is relative, the Duncan and Egg one, I think is relatively far along. Like, we could see that maybe in 2025.
And that's kind of like just a side quest.
Yeah, a little side quest thing. Story. But supposedly there are multiple other in some stage of development.
And they're about 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones.
That's how they were able to do it.
So it's not like this show is going to like lead right into them taking over the
we have a comment from Evan in his hole.
George R.R. Martin says he thinks that it will take 4 full seasons of 10 episodes to do justice for the Dance of the Dragons.
Wow.
That's nice of him
really
to say.
Stretching it out. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to need to make 4 seasons of
one book becomes 4 seasons. They were blasting through like a book a season.
Well, again, not even a book, because the book covers a long period of time. This is a very small section of the book, because the book goes generations beyond who we see in this show. And I don't think this show will go that far.
You think it will just tell the story of these two?
I think it will tell the Dance of the Dragons, how it all kind of shapes up, who winds up in power at the end when like a truce is kind of called, and they finally decide like, listen, we're done this person's going to take over. And it leads to the downfall of the Targaryens.
All I know is with these shows, I want to see the same level of vitriol that's going to happen that people do with Marvel shows when they start spinning off so much. And look, I'm just going to call it for what it is because it happens. Like we got all these now Disney Plus shows and people are like, oh, they're just doing all these. We just said there are so many side quests that they can do in Game of Thrones. And they're going to do them because, listen, it's Game of Thrones. It's a popular show. House of the Dragon, for what people didn't think it was going to be, was popular. It was received well. People are going to watch it. So now they're like, what else can we do? What else can we do?
And you know, I think like there's a big appetite for just general fantasy fare, whether it's Witcher or
Rings of Power,
Dungeons and Dragons, yada yada yada. You know, mixed results there across those properties. But
Zach was saying yada yada yada.
Yada 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 fantasy.
You yada yada yada.
You forgot about Wheel of Time,
Wheel of
Zach.
Time, I was just about to say.
You forgot about Outlander, Zach. What about Outlander?
Oh shit! Let's go come down to it.
All of the women are going to be angry. You forgot about Outlander.
Whoa, I'm sure there's some men that watch Outlander.
Oh, there's some men who watch out.
Hell yeah, dude. But let's move on. Speaking of fantasy and kind of like fantasy sci-fi, Dune 2 is also, we got a poster. There it is, that beautiful poster. Look at that. The spice must flow, baby.
You think Tom was on set and he was like, not so close, Timmy.
Ice Spice needs to be in this movie.
Ice Spice?
Ice Spice needs to be in Dune. I am now starting an online petition for Ice Spice to be digitally inserted into Dune.
Is she one of the worms or what is
No,
she? She is
get outta
just
here.
there.
She looked great.
Okay.
She looked great with the crazy blue
Yeah.
eye.
I will say, in our car, you know, we have like Sirius XM,
Yeah.
and they'll put up like the album art when a song is playing. And like, I don't know if you've seen the Ice Spice album art. I'm like, this should not be showing up in someone's car. I was like, woo!
Did you have to slam on the brakes?
Yeah, I was swerving all over traffic.
And look, what Brandon's trying to tell y'all is Ice Spice is blessed. Okay, she's blessed and highly favored.
She's blessed.
We of course we've already seen a first trailer for Dune Part 2 that came out pre-strike. That movie got delayed. It was supposed to come out last month.
They've had 2 trailers, right?
I think we saw a second trailer that
Because
didn't
they
have
had Christopher Walken in it.
Yep.
yeah, just like some hints of him. But
That
that
is
is
a worm. That's a bad Walken. I quit.
I kept
back
this uncomfortable hunk of spice up my ass. Okay.
Your father, Duke Leo Atreides, he gave me this dagger, and I kept this dagger up my ass.
You kept the thing of spice up his ass.
Oh, that was a little Shatner. That was a little Shatner.
Up his ass.
None of us are really
getting
it on the Walken, but very excited for that. That of course got delayed to March, so that's right around the corner.
Boo!
But
It was supposed to come out this year.
It's supposed to be out the strike again.
I'm just happy we're getting it. Okay?
Listen, everybody, we're gonna get Aquaman, right? We're happy for Aquaman. I wasn't expecting them to do none of that. Okay, none of that at all.
Can't wait to see that baby take its last breath.
Brandon and I have been talking about this all week. That baby is dying.
That's right, Evan!
No way.
It's going to die.
Black Manta's gonna
This
take
is
that
gonna
baby.
This is gonna be some Flash shit where it's all about babies in danger, but nothing bad ever happens to a baby.
Black Manta's gonna bane that baby just right over his knees.
No.
Kill that baby.
Kill that baby! Give me that trident!
Make baby kebabs. I'm sorry.
No Aquaman at CCXP. But there will be some Godzilla vs. Kong 2.
Godzilla
X Kong.
Sorry.
It's
Godzilla
verse
X.
in the
Yeah, because
X on the poster.
Godzilla versus Kong is on.
already happened.
It's on screen. It's on like Max and Netflix and all
This
that
is
right now.
Godzilla X Kong, the new empire.
So basically, it's like Godzilla and
at it.
Kong.
There it is. That's a great poster.
they're gonna work together.
And it's Unite 2024. So like they're gonna work together to fight some kind of other.
They're gonna fight the real enemy.
Wait, didn't Ghidorah? Is Ghidorah's dead, right? They got rid of King.
Yeah, because in King of the Monsters, he killed like everyone.
Yeah, right. They killed everything. That's what I'm saying. It's like Ghidorah's gone.
This film is not to be confused with Godzilla -1 that is in theaters right now.
Yeah.
That is a Toho Godzilla story. That is a separate timeline and different canon.
sure.
But this will be canon with Godzilla
Yeah,
versus King
and it's
Kong.
canon with Monarch, the series on Apple TV Plus
Currently
that
on
tens
Apple
of
TV.
people are watching.
It's a busy time for Godzilla and King Kong right now.
Right.
Lots of content coming out. And there'll be a little bit more Rebel Moon stuff. Zack Snyder is in Brazil. He's down there.
Yeah, they put out this poster today for Rebel Moon. It is what it is. They put out a second trailer for this that was a lot better than the first trailer. I wanted to, I'm down for a good sci-fi movie.
Throw in the chat, scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you for Rebel Moon? Is this like, it's a Tuesday night, I don't got anything else to watch? Or is this like, when it drops, I'm putting this thing
This is my main issue with it. The trailer looked okay, cool.
The second one was way better.
The second one's way better. It's Zack Snyder. Because we said it. He's supposed to have a PG-13 is going to get released. And then he has an R-rated cut. Then there's going to be a black and white cut. And then he's going to do this thing where he galvanizes his fan base on Vero. Who in the fuck is on Vero? I'm sorry. And people on Vero.
I love this comment from a username that I don't recognize very much. Geek Outs just saying, "What's Rebel Moon?"
What is Rebel Moon?
I think that's America is saying the same thing.
The Rebel Moon does not show up in this movie. He said, like, the Rebel Moon's not even in this movie. It doesn't show up till, like, the third movie or something like that. If you don't know the lore behind Rebel Moon, it was a spec script that Snyder was working on with Lucasfilm before Lucasfilm was purchased by Disney. Once Disney bought it, they were like, no, thank you. And Zack Snyder was like, I'm going to make my laser sword movie anyways. So if it feels like a little Star Wars-y to you...
I mean, literally, pull up the poster again, please. Look, I mean, the Imperial officer-looking guy literally just dressed like a Nazi.
Yes!
It's like he did even less subtle than Star Wars did it, right? Like, they already dress Imperial officers like Nazis, but he just literally did a Nazi
The one
thing.
character has a sword that, like, lights up, it's about, like, a farmer.
And Zack Snyder's Star Wars is playing. We keep going around. It's Zack Snyder's Star Wars.
And you know what? That doesn't have to be a bad thing.
No, it doesn't. But again, I just said his fan base.
Yes. No, I mean, yeah, he gets a bad rap because of the people who stand for some of his stuff. But hey, we're not getting any actual Star Wars movies anytime soon.
No.
So like, if this is the closest we get,
Skeleton Crew. Is that a movie or
it's
a
a
show?
series. We've
Never
had
get
this
a bunch of
fight.
series.
We've had this fight 25 times.
I know.
Brandon.
Oh Jesus!
Skeleton Crew is a show.
We're getting a new Ray movie at some point, and that will really make the fan base happy.
Jamie Foxx, right?
Yes.
That went way over my head.
Yes. Jamie Foxx was in the biopic of Ray Charles. It's called Ray. It's called Ray. I would like a sequel to Ray.
Woo!
It ended when he's still like in his 30s or 40s. He lived a long time.
They didn't do the Diet Coke commercial.
You want him with the Diet Pepsi and the California Raisin?
Yeah.
I heard it.
He did that song with Quincy Jones and Ice-T that won a Grammy in like
He was in the
94.
Blues Brothers. He had a long illustrious career after the movie ended. They didn't let Jamie sing for real in that movie though. Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they dubbed in Ray Charles.
They dubbed his voice.
the
They
real
let him
voice.
play piano, but then they dubbed his voice. And it came out on the same time as Walk the Line, where they let Joaquin Phoenix sing.
Yeah.
And I think that worked better. I think that.
Well, also, Jamie Foxx has a great voice.
Yeah.
He did 'cause when he did the Gold Digger with Kanye. That was actually Jamie Foxx's
That's
voice.
right. Yeah, that's Jamie Foxx's right.
Jamie Foxx was also cast in Right, and they didn't know he could play piano.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. And it was early on. They were bringing him in. They wanted him for the movie. They didn't even know. And then he showed up and he started like playing piano. They're like, "Oh, we didn't know you could play piano." It's like, you fucking.
We were gonna have a stunt double.
Yeah.
Bring the blind double in.
Yeah, they were gonna bring in Vanessa Carlton for just the hands on the piano.
I don't think that hand stunting would work. Evan, you wanted to talk a little Percy Jackson.
Oh, who put this in this?
Dashiell, show the poster.
Oh no,
I'm so
I
excited.
thought Disney wasn't at CCXP.
Was this at
Percy
CCXP?
Jackson's at CCXP.
Oh,
Yeah, so I think we'll probably get one final little clip
Now,
or a teaser.
I have a couple. I am not familiar with the Percy Jackson IP. I haven't read any.
You
of
hate
those or
Greek
seen any of those.
mythology.
That's.
Famous.
I'm on record saying that Roman mythology blows it out of the water. But this trailer looked great, Evan.
Yeah.
It's a series.
The
right?
series is originally a 5-book series before it got expanded into, I think now a 15-book series.
But I'm saying this is not a movie. That it's
Sorry,
not.
yeah, this is a television series.
Zach, we've had this fight 20 times. Percy Jackson is a show.
It was a movie. It was a movie.
It was
a movie.
Yeah, they adapted into movies first.
Two movies.
2 movies. It was was not faithful to the books at all. So, so the show is coming
someone's
out
neck.
December 20th. They're dropping the first 2 episodes first, and then after that, it'll be weekly releases. So kind of interesting. I think it's 10 episodes.
Is this series just the first book?
Yes, just the
And,
first.
and Lin-Manuel Miranda is in this?
Yeah, he plays.
He's Percy Jackson, right?
Yeah, he's Percy Jackson.
No,
He's a
and
10-year-old
this is not related to Golden Compass. That also had Lin-Manuel Miranda.
It's very different. Yeah.
Okay, because he has
Different book
multiple
series.
like weird fantasy
Yeah.
project things. Okay, cool.
He plays the Hermes, the Greek god, like the messenger Greek god.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this Hermes gonna sing and dance every time, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Is there music?
And also Hermes has a lot of kids. That's his like whole thing in the in the books. He's got like a ton of kids.
But I liked the effects look good in the trailer. It looks
Yeah.
like fun. I mean, it looks like a lot of action, and it's got a Harry Potter-y kind of vibe, but with
Yeah,
gods
I
instead of
feel like
magic.
this is like
Evan's
I don't want to
Twitter
like
that you just
age
compared
myself,
it to
but it's
Harry
like
Potter.
it's kind of like
I saw the
it's in the
frustration on
script.
his
He was like, I did not have this fucking fight again. Here we go.
You compare this shit to Harry
This
Potter.
it to me it feels like a Gen Z millennial cusp. Like this
Sure.
is like that generation's Harry
Yeah.
Harry Potter like fantasy thing. Just because of like the way how the books came out, it would track like the kind of
It hits that generation of that age.
Yeah.
Everybody needs their YA fantasy, sci-fi, whatever.
Yeah.
Their Hunger Games, their
Yeah.
Harry Potter,
Exactly.
their something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How hyped are you for this, Evan?
Very hyped. My friend worked on it. She was a huge fan of the books, and she was like, "You're not going to be disappointed."
Yeah.
And so I trust her judgment.
Now,
and I'm excited.
Evan, speaking of things that were kind of like done dirty and now they're getting a better shot, are you more hyped for this or the Avatar remake?
That same friend told me not to be excited for Avatar, and she worked on that too. So I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, but that's a little. She's playing for the home team. You know.
Yeah,
She's
that's-
got to make her show look good.
No, but she worked on that too.
She worked on
She worked on
both.
both shows. Yeah,
just kidding.
I do have friends who are in the Avatar show, so I'm excited for them to kind of get their chance to like shine. But as far as which I'm more excited about, it's definitely this.
You're
one.
reserving
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't read the Percy Jackson books either because reading is something the devil does.
And it hurts your brain,
It hurts
right?
my brain. It hurts my tiny little brain to read. But the comments I've been told are very favorable for the trailer, and they're like, "This looks very accurate to the book."
Don't look for me for no response on this shit, 'cause I ain't got nothing.
What was your Percy Jackson?
So Percy Jackson grew up on 65th and Walcott.
Oh, that person.
That
Oh,
person.
okay.
That
I
person.
meant like, what was your childhood
Oh,
novel?
yeah. Did you have something you got
YA
into?
novel that you got into?
Comics?
Comics, but I was also sneaking watching stuff like Total Recall, and all the Paul Verhoeven movies.
Yeah.
I was watching.
Yeah.
I didn't have like young adult stuff for me. Like it was either the kid stuff or adult
Yeah,
stuff.
we watched Terminator 2 way too young.
Way too
Way
young.
too young. We're out there playing backdraft in the
I mean, look, I watched Power Rangers when I was like,
Oh, hell yeah.
up to like I was about 15, 16, and forgot that they murdered people in Power Rangers. Like the Pink Ranger dies at one point in like Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Like they killed him. I was like, Saban, I am 15.
It's gonna happen.
I'm 15 right
When
now.
those big kaiju were attacking Angel Grove.
No, we never talk about the death.
dying.
We never talk about the death
I
and
mean,
destruction of
I'm
the city.
still
People were dying in
I'm
the
still
city.
scarred from Optimus Prime dying in the very first.
Oh, in the Transformers movie? Oh my God!
way back in the day.
When they turned Optimus gray after he died, I was like, "Yo, this is so sad."
Well, there's a lot to look forward to, and it's good to a big budget genre Disney Plus thing that's not Marvel or Star Wars.
Yes.
There hasn't been a lot of that.
Yeah.
Obviously, some films and some other stuff, but like a full-blown series. I'm excited for that. Throw in the chat if you're excited for Percy Jackson. We want a really quick shout out, nerdriot.shop. Hey, I think up until December 11th, you can order from nerdriot.shop and get it in time for Christmas. So you've got a week and change.
Yeah.
You can get the Meowvils shirt that I'm wearing. Brandon's wearing an
It's an
older
old school. The Quantum Thief.
Quantum Thief
Ant-Man.
shirt. We've got a lot of cool new. I should have brought one out. Cool new designs that we just dropped. Some holiday themed ones. And then Jay's wearing a great shirt that's not available there, but it is available, and it's still a new Rockstars shirt.
It is.
We have some friends over at a company called Kind of Fit, Kind of Fat. They're actually going to be at LA Comic Con this
Yes, they
weekend.
are. That's why I was gonna go because I always go to their booth, and they are such big fans of. So when I walked by the first time and I had a shirt, he was like, "You're Jay Washington, aren't you?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "What are you looking at?" I was like, "This." And he was like, "Oh, okay, what size?" And they got in the bag, and I was like, "I will always cherish."
Yeah. Chad,
I love their shirts though. I love them.
Chad and the crew over there, they are this really fun, cool company. You should follow them on Instagram that makes like workout clothing, but that is like body positive and like pro food. And there's both like barbells and ice cream and pizza and like, and it's all in this fun, cartoony pop culture style. Like that, we collabed with them on this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt. It came out and it has New Rockstars there on the bottom, which you should go over to kindoffitkindofat.com and grab that shirt and some of their other cool products. But we want to get to some questions.
That's right.
Evan, read the questions.
All right. We mentioned Rey coming back in Star Wars. So just like laughing about the joke. H. Basso 13 asking, we've seen them say that Rey's story will be different in the possible new Star Wars. Like, what do you think her role will be? What do you think it might be? Any guesses there?
Yeah, there was that little blurb. Was that last week where she was talking about like she was surprised to see her role in this film?
Something like
which
that.
was reading the script. I don't know. I mean, the whole movie, right? She's kind of an apprentice. The whole kind of sequel trilogy, like learning to be a Jedi, learning on her own, learning from Luke, whatever she's got to do to figure out how to be a Jedi. It would be interesting to see if these next movies, now that if they're going to rebirth the Empire, I don't know. A resurgence of Jedi in an interesting way. And maybe the Jedi decide this time, you know what? We're going to be in power. We've had enough of like the Empire, not in like an old Republic style, but like in a, we don't need senators. Just us Jedi are going to take over.
I like
and maybe Rey, I always thought they were going to turn Rey
dark side.
Right? It seemed like they were really hinting at that in the movies for a long time. Even in the first, The Force Awakens, right? There's that moment when she's kind of she has kind of a force-off with Kylo Ren early on.
Yeah.
And he can kind of sense in her that like she's turning a little, because she's kind of unknowingly using the Force. And I think instinctually, without guidance, you will tap into your dark side. I would love to see her go evil. Like,
I just want to see them stay away from the Skywalker legacy.
Yeah. Drop all out.
Stay away.
I don't want to see Chewie. I don't want to see
R2D2. I don't want to see R2D2. Stay away from all the Skywalker legacy.
I want to see Grogu. He's like 100 now.
Tell a new story.
Yeah.
Tell
a new story.
But Andor comes back somehow.
Hell yeah. Evan?
Question here from Belta Lauda. Do you think The Boys is in danger of oversaturation?
That's a good question. Well, I think the thing that would keep it from being the case is it's not like driven by one or two characters. It's a broader universe, like Jay was mentioning, and we haven't even seen the entire thing, right? We're always being introduced to like, oh, these are the Cleveland soups or the Seattle soups, right? And there's so many we haven't even met yet, right? It feels like they could tell a lot of different stories on different characters too.
We didn't even see any soups in Russia. Think about that. When they got Soldier Boy, we didn't see any soups. We've heard stories of somebody being a super villain in this place and that place. So can you imagine what a Vought is like in Mexico?
Yeah.
What a Vought is in Japan, what a Vought is in, England or Italy. I understand when people say oversaturated, but because, like you just said, we haven't seen this whole world. Everything's been self-contained to Vought Tower, the 7, and now just Gen V.
Yeah, I feel you, Beltaloda. Okay, I'm a Belter too. And I know where you're going with this. And I was scared when they announced Gen V, right? I was like, ugh, I don't know. And even like the description of it when it was like, they're in college. And I was like, is this like the One Tree Hill version of or Supernatural? Because we're Kripke, right? Are they going like young adult, like cool hip? And I was so much love that show. It was still the same kind of feeling of The Boys. They dealt with some great issues.
And tell different stories.
Yeah, they told different stories with like much more diversity than The Boys was able to do initially. So I'm excited. Is there a fear? Yeah, there's a fear that they go too far and they go beyond their belt. But one thing I really like that Kripke has said is like he hates that Marvel is always jumping around in time and like this thing is actually before this movie.
They only go chronological.
He wants to stick chronological. Yeah, I want to see where they go from here.
We'll never get like a 1980s set throwback
series. Like they had flashbacks in the show, but they'll never be like this whole series takes place before season 2 or something.
And I do think what they're trying to set up too is like, well, the actual The Boys could end.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe that only has to go 5 seasons, and then Gen V does 5 seasons, parallel with Boys Mexico or whatever.
Yeah, but my biggest fear is like, what do you do in a non-Homelander show? Because he's such a great character. But I love what you're pointing out, Jay. Like the Boys Mexico makes me think, in the comic books, I believe Kimiko was a result of Japan trying to figure out their own compound. In the show, it was Homelander that like brought it to Japan to kind of create Kimiko, and like he was they were purposely giving terrorists money to create it. I love this idea of like Russia or Mexico or another nation. Like, no, we've created our own Compound V, and it's vastly different, and it has very different results. And what that looks like,
like there's the 7 in America. The 7 are the Justice League, the Avengers, blah blah blah. But there's also the 7 of other countries.
Right.
Yes. The what's the Canadian
Alpha Flight.
Alpha Flight, right?
Well, and I want like the League of Doom, right? I want the Sinister Six. I want to see a group of villains like Diabolical, the show, the cartoon. Kripke said 3 of the episodes are canon.
Yeah.
Others are silly. But one thing that's in one of the canon episodes is that like Vought sets up villains to go do things so that their own heroes can come. And it's all like they're all on the same side, shake hands, but like I'm playing the villain now. I want to see more of that in the show. They don't really show much of like the crime fighting anymore in the show. It's all like either hyper stage stuff or like they're just making movies. But kind of that first season, you know, they were trying to stop a bank robbery. And it's like, I want to see that again, them kind of doing crime fighting stuff and how it goes wrong and how it's all just fake. Yeah.
Evan.
I thought this was a fun comment. Bummin with Bo said, so John Hammond isn't splicing Godzilla and Kong together? That's what I thought when I saw GXK on the poster. It'd be pretty wild, right? A Godzilla Kong splice.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Well, I think you want King Kong's arms because he has actual arms.
Right. You want the reach. You want the reach.
And they're long.
You want the fire from Godzilla.
That's right.
Atomic fire. Yes. Yeah. You want that. The tail.
You want a tail. You want a tail. But then I'd probably want the leaping ability, the legs.
Yeah. That Kong has.
Yes.
And like Kong can't really swim, right?
No.
Like when they were fiting on the aircraft carriers.
He has to balance on he's boogie boarding on the
but
thing.
like, you know, Godzilla's swimming around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they were really running it.
Godzilla's a salamander, right?
He's a giant salamander?
Remember the...
Oh, yeah, he's on the island
when the explosion
He
happened.
can like self-reproduce.
He's asexual.
Yeah,
Godzilla's asexual.
Yeah. I mean, they were kind of getting a little freaky in Godzilla versus Kong with Mechagodzilla, right?
Yeah, they were like...
And even in the old Toho, right, they started getting a little wild.
Godzuki?
Yeah.
Godzuki?
Yeah, I mean, I want to see more of like the inner Earth stuff, like what's down there. How is there light down there? Explain things to me.
Oh, the Hollow Earth, yeah.
Yeah, the Hollow Earth theory.
Craigus Maximus 83 asked top 3 TV show recommendations for shows aired in 2023.
Ooh,
some TV show recs that you guys watch.
Okay, well, obviously,
I know what you're gonna say.
We endorse all. We talked about the Marvel and the Star Wars stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's go. No Marvel, no Star Wars.
Okay.
There's a show on right now. Now I believe it's a Showtime show.
It is.
You might access Showtime via Amazon Prime or whatever. I don't know. You got to subscribe to Paramount Plus or some bullshit. But The Curse from Nathan Fielder and Benny Safdie. Okay. Every time I watch one of these episodes, I come into the studio, I bug Evan and Dashiell to talk about it. If you liked Nathan For You or The Rehearsal,
Was the rehearsal this year too? Because that would be
the rehearsal
another
this year.
pick of
Was that early
mine.
this year?
The rehearsal.
No, rehearsal was last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
This
take it off my
show,
list.
it's Emma Stone's in it. It's got to
gotta
be movie
look
star,
up
but
what
it
even
is
came out
so
this year.
weird
what
and
came out?
funny and strange and cringy. I endorse that.
came out.
What are?
I know I Think You Should Leave is one.
Oh, that's
Check out
a
I
great
Think You
one.
Should
Oh
Leave.
yeah.
My recommendation is to watch Reservation Dogs.
Oh yeah.
It's on Hulu in the
And it just-
States.
the whole series just ended.
Whole series just ended. One of the actresses in it is in Echo, so you can watch that. But it's an absolutely
Are there-
They're
beautiful.
the same writers too.
Are there?
I think so.
Two
yeah.
or three
There's
seasons.
3 seasons total.
I think some of the same directors from
That would make
Reservation
sense.
Dogs came
It's
over,
on
too.
an FX.
It's on Hulu in the States, Disney Plus in Canada, and on Star abroad. It's very, very confusing, but I cannot recommend a show more than this one.
That's been on my list for a minute.
Every season of episode 2 is absolutely heartbreaking. It's so emotional. So good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, does Gen V count? I mean, I loved Gen V
man.
this year. That was not Marvel or Star Wars. Oh, I have to look at a list. Because
I'm looking
I
at a
think off
list
my
too.
head.
I'm scrolling.
Poker Face was really good. I really
like
liked
that.
Poker Face on
Yeah,
Peacock.
I think like its best episodes are some of the best TV.
Sure,
that came
sure.
out.
Not
It's a
every
little
episode is
uneven,
great.
but another show, Dashiell. I don't know if you remember. I'm trying to remember. It has a complicated name. Unicorn. What was the animated show on Max from Gendy Tartakovsky? Unicorn something. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I really like that show. Now the fact that I can't remember the title doesn't sound like much of an endorsement.
Unicorn Warriors Eternal.
Unicorn Warriors Eternal. It has kind of a silly name, but I really like that show.
I got it. Jury Duty.
Yes.
Jury Duty.
Great show.
Jury Duty was great.
Great show.
The second season of The Bear was really good. I love that show. What We Do in the Shadows has quietly been killing it every season they come out.
That show was.
I really like What We Do in the Shadows.
Where do you stand on Our Flag Means Death?
I like our fight. I haven't watched the second season.
I haven't
yet.
watched
I
it.
liked the first season a lot, but I haven't watched.
You want to know what show was a disappointment for me though? Twisted Metal.
Oh,
didn't
I
watch
heard
it.
good things.
Did
Didn't
it?
like it in
Well,
the end?
because you don't get the tournament itself. It's like remember
they don't get to the tournament.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's like the Mortal Kombat movie that recently came out, the reboot. Like we're building up everything, and the second film will be the tournament.
okay.
So the second season of Twisted Metal was the tournament. Now, don't get me wrong, Samoa Joe and Will Arnett as Sweet Tooth is an amazing combination. Although I wish they would have just let Samoa Joe be the voice.
'Cause he's a great voice.
He's a great voice, but like for me, it felt like there was something missing with it. So that was one of the things. You know, me looking through all these shows. Beef, there it goes.
Oh, that's been on my list too. Everybody says that's
Beef
great.
was very interesting.
Beef is very because you don't
surprised
know.
me a lot.
It surprises you with Ali Wong and Stephen Young. You have no idea where it's going.
yeah.
Because you be like, oh, this is gonna be nope, that's not that at all. And then it just goes different ways. And so it turned out to be a pretty good show. It was one of those you get to watch it. You're like, okay, I'm into this.
I mean, I loved The Last of Us was really great.
Yeah, of course. Way
Great
back at the
show.
beginning of the year.
Succession ended great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, what a final season for that show.
I think it was just didn't come up because it's not at CCXP, but like they're starting the writers' room or they're starting to film the second season of Last of Us
February.
Yes.
February.
Yeah, they
so
wanted
we'll probably
to start-
get that beginning of 2025.
Yeah,
maybe?
well, their plan was to start The Last of Us in January, and then word on the street is Pedro Pascal's very busy, so they had to push to February. And I read that like the production schedule is like February to September, like super long.
Now he's going to shoot all of Fantastic Four in January.
Well, that's the thing. If because the other report was they want to get Fantastic Four going ASAP. They still haven't announced the cast. If you want to get him in that,
He's not. I'm pretty,
there's no way he's Reed Richards.
He's not
and they
Reed
shoot it
Richards.
in 6 weeks.
I guarantee you, he's Victor Von Doom.
You think so?
Oh, and this is all kind of a smokescreen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this way, if he's Doom, he
you
doesn't
can,
have.
you can Mando it.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
can Mando it.
He's Mandoing.
He
all
can
over the
Mando
place.
it. You
He's
rarely
also-
have to see Victor's face.
He's also shooting another movie this year called Wrecked, or Weapons
Yes.
from the Barbarians guy.
Yes. Yeah. His
That was
follow-up,
scheduled to shoot this
Zach
year?
Clegger's follow
Yeah.
up to Barbarian.
He's a busy guy, so I don't know. I'm kind of shocked that Last of Us got
If you like,
pushed a little
if
bit.
you like almost like a murder mystery that kind of parallels real life to an extent, if you do the research, Swarm.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Donald
yeah.
Glover,
On Prime.
okay.
yeah, on Prime. Swarm. Dominique Fishback and then Donald Glover put something together that's amazing. 'Cause
Interesting.
It gets so deep. It's like it's the lore of fandoms. Put it like this. It's fandoms, and because we know who it's supposed to be based off of, but if you look at it, it is fandoms, and this is more so pop stars fandoms, like a Taylor Swift, a Beyonce, a Nicki Minaj. Things like that. These level of fandoms that are like, we will come after you.
And kind of like tipping over into horror and
Yes,
thriller.
yes.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, the final season of Atlanta also came out this year. I enjoyed that a lot.
That was this year.
That was this year.
That was 2023, right?
No,
And then-
wait. I just rewatched it again. That was this year.
I think that was early 2023. I could be wrong. Maybe it was 2022. And then How To with John Wilson, the final season of that. Love that show. That's a breezy. There's only 2 or 3 seasons of that.
Last season, yes. Last season of Atlanta was. Oh wait, no, sorry, I didn't say anything.
Okay. I think I might be right there, but we'll see.
okay.
Unless it was early in the year.
Of course, there's Faraway Downs. Don't miss Faraway.
No, stop.
Well, that's how you end the show right there.
Yeah, Jay's got to go, but I want to hit some questions really quick.
okay.
You guys are all big wrestling fans. Tommy's a big wrestling fan. Where's this question? Alex Reyes asking, do you guys want to talk about the Iron Claw on the break room when that comes
Oh,
out?
hell
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
dude. The Von Erich movie? Hell yes.
Yeah, that'll be a very interesting movie. Very excited for it. They've been working on it.
It's an
for a while.
A24 movie.
Yes, it is.
Which they always do arty fancy movies or your Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's got dude from The Bear. It's got
Zac Efron. It's got
Everyone
MJF is in
ripped.
it.
Oh, that's right.
MJF is in.
MJF is.
Yeah.
They actually shouts out to Chavo Guerrero who did the training and he's actually in the movie.
Oh,
he did the wrestling training. He's in the movie. That film looks great.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, if you are
It's a tragic story.
It's a very
tragic
I would
Let me
say-
tell y'all that right now. It's a tragic.
Don't look at the Wikipedia.
I mean, you
like, go into
could,
the movie blind.
but I think it's better if you're not a wrestling
Yeah.
fan, but you might be interested in that movie. Don't go in knowing anything
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the Von Erich family, and just be surprised.
So which one do you do next?
Ooh,
Do you do the hearts?
I think you could do the Hearts, another tragic story. I would love like a good Ric Flair like movie.
Give me a Samoan Dynasty movie.
That
Ooh,
you do it
I
after
think
you
that's
do it
really
after
good.
Ric Flair dies and you're truthful. in
well,
that
see,
movie.
I think the problem with something like a Ric Flair is like big things that were already on like television, and the nice thing about the Von Erichs is like a lot of their story
People
did
that
not
know.
take
Yeah.
place
Yeah,
on
that's a
TV.
good point.
And so like I think like indie wrestling, old school. You know, if you did like a Bruno Sammartino movie or like the Sheik, or
I don't think people really get those.
No, but like if you could do something, even like a Karl Gotch movie. Let's go back to the fairgrounds in the 1920s. You could get gritty. Do a little.
You want to do a little sketch man?
Yeah. You know, because then you could.
Those are some boring matches, dude.
Yes,
Watch
but like
those
you could
matches.
combine. That was like the real Carney stuff.
Yes, it
You know what I
was.
mean? And like a little Nightmare Alley kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Getting, I don't know. Somebody.
He'll geek.
He'll geek. Oh,
He'll geek.
he'll geek. Anything else?
Yeah, HG guy asking, what do you guys think of the Lord of the Ring movies due to Eric's recent breakdown of the Fellowship? Do you have any like special attachment to those movies?
Hell yeah! I just rewatched Fellowship maybe in the last 6 months. Like they're such a weird time capsule. Both
Yeah.
like they're great, and a lot of it holds up.
A lot of practical stuff.
A lot
in
of
those
practical.
movies.
I mean, they're 20 years old
Yeah.
plus, right? I'm always struck when I rewatch those how sincere those movies are. Like we've gotten so accustomed to big blockbusters and action movies, like being like snarky and jokey and maybe like sarcastic in moments and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like every character in that movie is so like upright and sincere. It's like you just don't see that anymore.
It
you
was
know?
very much like Rings of Power. Like everyone was very like. I like to think of a Rings of Power, that scene where all the elves are standing on the boat going back to their land singing. It's just like a tiny boat, and it takes a long time to get there. I'm like, they just stand the whole time.
They're
and
all in
sing
robes
and like
and just like
it's so bizarre. It's bizarre.
that's what the original
I will
trilogy
say,
was like.
yeah, the original trilogy. It's long. It's a lot to get through. It's very interesting. It's very good. I have not liked anything they've made since. Like I didn't like the Hobbit
yeah.
stuff. Rings of Power. It was okay, but it wasn't really for me. I'm not super excited about any other movie they want to make. I'm just kind of like, I think Rings of Power or the Lord of the Rings trilogy was really well done. And great. And I don't know how you
Dashiell is
beat it.
fuming.
He's
okay?
so angry.
He's a Lord of the Rings.
He's about to
head,
cut us off.
And
about
he
to cut
cannot
the
get
feed.
enough of all the content.
Evan?
Yeah.
2 more questions. For some reason, the chat started talking about a live-action Captain Planet.
Yes!
If you could get, I don't think it's confirmed or anything, but if you could get a live-action Captain Planet,
Don Cheadle.
Don Gino, would it be? Who would you want to direct it? What kind of tone did you want?
Gareth Edwards directs it, and all of the Planeteers die by the end.
I want Captain Planet to go evil. Don't give me damn Captain Pollution.
Yeah.
Damn I won't like, oh, we got this thing, Gaia, and then you all of a sudden you see Captain Planet snap this bitch neck. Like,
Yeah, what if it's like that How to Blow Up a Pipeline indie movie that came out
God,
this year?
yeah.
It's about like
Who
eco-terrorism.
is the villain, the hot Russian villain who had like the blonde hair covering?
it was
her
a bunch
face?
of the one that loved. It was a couple of them because they
There's
were
the
all,
pig guy.
the pig guy, Hoggish Greedy.
The guy with like the hunter guy who had like the zebra coat or whatever.
I'm gonna tell you what movie I
We'll
want.
pay for this, Captain
Captain
Planet. I mean, the show, it's not fun to watch now.
It was one of those.
They were trying to teach a message.
Yeah, it was about a message, but now if you do a movie like, it's like if they did, the Captain Planet movie would be the equivalent to the Power Rangers live action movie.
Here's my problem with the Power Rangers live action movie, right? They were all like super power. They could jump really far. They were like, keep them like teenagers.
Nope.
Don't
Power
make
Rangers,
them like
nope.
super soldiers.
Do Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. Lightspeed Rescue was the first and only ever
No, we
Power
want
Rangers.
dinosaurs.
No,
We
no.
want
They were the
dinosaur
first.
Zords.
They were the first Power Rangers that were actual adults. They all had careers. One was a firefighter. Another was a pilot. Another was a paramedic. They were grown ass people.
No.
Not no teenagers.
If I'm
This
a
is
grown ass
beef.
man and Lord Zordon's calling me, I'm gonna be
It wasn't no Lord, but
answering this
it
shit.
wasn't Zordon. It was a company that Lightspeed Rescue. They tapped into the.
So they got a 401k.
Got a hell
They
of a
talk to the
CEO.
HR department
Goddamn.
about saving.
Yeah, you can't be morphing in front of chicks butt naked. Hey,
Hey, honey, let me show you how to morph. Huh? Come here.
Whoa.
Let me adjust that power suit, huh?
Free news.
All right, so last
You
question.
can't touch a putty like that, okay? Ooh, Rita Repulsa?
Last question.
finger
I
on a putty.
think
Break me
this
off a
question
piece of
really
Rita Repulsa.
covers everything the chat was asking about, so I think it's a good one to end on. Ryan Painter asking, thoughts on croissants? They're a top tier food for me.
Croissants?
Croissants.
Delicious. Now, I like a panda chocolat more than a croissant.
Oh,
You know, I like a little chocolate in there.
It's too much.
No!
It's too much.
Because you're having American ones. You got to get a real French
Here's the thing.
panda chocolat.
I love a good croissant. You know what I mean? I'm not above a Burger King bacon, egg, and cheese croissant with. You know what I mean?
You should be above it.
I should be. You're right. I should be, but I'm not. Okay, because I am fully self-aware of how disgusting I am. But like, I also think croissants of all the bakery items can have the biggest range.
You gotta get a
a
good
good
one.
one versus like a bad one. It's
flaky layers.
very far apart.
Yeah, super flaky. I don't like it. But like flaky is cool, but like when it just feels like it's crumbling every time you pick it up.
Where's my damn croissant?
It's too dry.
Yeah, but it's too dry.
I'm about to be in France. I'm very excited because I'm going to eat hella croissants.
Oh,
Pain au chocolat.
when in France?
I'm not telling these freaks when I'm going to be there. Just keep your eyes open.
Hey, Evan has taught us. If you announce when you might be,
Okay.
They're gonna
in
be
a region of
waiting at
world.
the airport.
Catch me at the Sbarro on Rue de Cholette, okay? I'm going to be
Rue de Long.
getting my pepperoni pizza on top of a croissant.
You haven't Sbarroed till you've been to a French Sbarro.
Sbarro.
Okay? They don't even pronounce.
They don't pronounce the S.
It's Sbarro. It's Sbarro.
Butter.
Butter.
A verre de vin?
Okay, I'm going to
Coco Vin? Okay.
Vin.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Thank you for watching on Twitch. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Follow us on all those places. Check us out on socials. Jay, they should follow you.
At Mr. J Washington on Instagram and TikTok. Please continue to get these numbers up. Thank you
Get
to
his
everybody.
numbers up. Let's boost those numbers.
Like, because he's trying. Look, I can't. Let me tell y'all this right now in this video. I know it's going to be like, we got like 60-some thousand subscribers on the Breakroom channel. Do you understand? Unless I have like 50K, I barely can get
Come
a
on.
job. I'm dead ass serious.
No, I believe I'm speaking to the people.
Oh,
Yeah,
please.
Grab your
Everybody,
parents' phone.
get
Grab
all
your
your
partner's
get
phone.
all your alts.
Yeah.
To follow Jay.
All of them.
Get
Just
all your
ring them.
Finstas on there, huh?
That's right. Yes, and don't follow Brandon and I. We don't.
No, please. No, you can follow me at Mr. J Washington on all social platforms.
That's right. Yes.
Everything that's posted there comes directly from my mouth. Certified by me. No matter what it said. I don't care about who. I don't care about what. It's me.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye.